Sarah was lying in bed after a long day, scrolling through her phone, when she suddenly noticed the eerie silence in her apartment building. The building was old, and occasional creaks in the middle of the night were normal to her, but tonight something felt different. A strange unease settled inside her. As the clock passed midnight, she heard an unusual sound in the hallway. It was as if someone was walking slowly through the long corridor. At first, she assumed it was just a neighbor, but the footsteps were unnatural. The sound of shuffling feet echoed, as though someone was dragging them. Sarah sat up in bed, listening carefully. The footsteps stopped right in front of her apartment door. Then ... The sharp chime of the doorbell shattered the silence. Her heart pounded in her chest. Who could be visiting at this hour? She got out of bed cautiously, taking slow steps toward the door, and peered through the peephole. "You're imagining things, Sarah," she whispered to herself. Maybe it was exhaustion playing tricks on her. She decided to step away from the door. But just as she turned, the doorbell rang again. This time, it was longer, more insistent. With a trembling voice, she asked, "Who is it?" The response from outside was barely a whisper, but it carried an eerie clarity. "Open the door, ... I need to come in." Sarah's skin prickled with fear. She quickly checked the locket was secured. A heavy silence followed. She was about to back away when something thin, pale, and unnaturally long slid in under the door. Sarah let out a scream and stumbled backward. Her eyes widened in terror, and her breath became ragged. The hand slithered back into the darkness, followed by a faint, chilling giggle. She stayed awake the entire night, too afraid to sleep. Every small noise sent her heart racing. The shuffling footsteps outside her door continued on and off until dawn. When daylight finally broke, she gathered her courage and slowly cracked the door open. The hallway was completely empty, but right at her doorstep lay a small, rusty key. With shaking hands, she picked it up. The key trembled with an odd warmth between her fingers, and just then a whisper came from behind her. "Why didn't you open